The president today saying that he is going to make sure that BP pays. What BP still does not know is how much. Try $37 billion to start. That is how much some House Democrats figure all this Gulf mess is costing just so far. 32 of them today dashing off a letter to BP CEO saying, focus on those getting hit and not shareholders getting whacked. They say the president's on board and will in fact say so tonight. Tennessee Congressman Steve Cohen, one of the Democrats who signed that letter, with me right now. Good to have you, sir. Thanks for coming.
Neil, nice to be with you.
These figures are all over the map, Congressman. One has it just set up a $20 billion contingency fund, but if your cost estimate is right, that this is really closer to $38 billion in damage-related costs, obviously that's an open credit line, right?
Well, it's a tremendous amount of money. You know, BP lied to us about how much oil was escaping. We now know it's closer to 25,000 barrels a day. And if you take $3,000 a barrel as their penalty for gross negligence, it's a tremendous amount of money, not even considering what the states are going to lose in sales tax revenue, what businesses lose, and the 11 lives. What are they worth? The damages to Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida are phenomenal, and the American public needs to be protected.
All right, but where do you cap that protection? Is it 20 billion? Is it 37 billion? Where?
I don't think it should be capped at all. I think it was wrong to have the $75 million cap. We're trying to change that to have it be really an unlimited cap. Only unlimited caps will give the oil companies the incentive to drill where they cannot have unlimited damages. They drilled in places where no company had ever drilled before. They did all their research on how to drill, but nothing on how to contain a possible problem. They thought they were fail-safe. Now they've wreaked havoc all over the Gulf of Mexico and the southern United States, and it's partly because they knew their damages were limited. Now they say they'll pay everything. They'll pay legitimate claims, but I'm a lawyer, and I know legitimate is a lawyer-like adjective for we'll get around to it, we'll fiddle with you in court, we'll negotiate, we'll be like Exxon.
It's also pejorative for you, right? I mean, you could decide someone hundreds of miles away is a legitimate case and has a legitimate money gripe, but that could just be throwing added burden on top of added burden, and you push too much, BP with all that money might go away. It's happened before, hasn't it?
Oh, they certainly could go away. That's why I think we should even have a receivership and take BP USA and put them into receivership. I don't trust them one iota, and I don't think the American public does either. They've lied to us about this bill from day one.
Well,
they've been more interested in capturing oil than stopping the leak.
But you don't have the power or the constitutional right to do that.
I don't know that we don't.
You're aware that you push a company so far, and believe me, no apologies for BP, but there is a limit even to a wealthy company that could lose potentially tens of billions on this, and you might assume it as just an endless reservoir of money available. But as we've seen in prior cases where corporations have been targeted, sometimes by very frivolous lawsuits having nothing to do with the serious ones that I'm sure you want to address, sir, it pushes the company right over the edge. The company, whether in receivership or not, can only pay pennies on the dollar. Taxpayers foot the rest. Victims get nothing.
Well, that could happen in some cases, Neil, but in this case, if we put them in a receivership, we've got their assets. If we take the president believes he has the power to require them to put certain monies, and then we can follow up on it with escrow account. Either way, we protect the consumers because we take that money. They've got cash on hand. They've got enough money, they think, to pay $2.5 billion this quarter in dividends, $10 billion a year. That's not their shareholders' money. It's the money that should be going first and primarily to the people whose lives they've ruined.
But that is their shareholders' money. They'd be nothing without the shareholders' money. I know you don't like shareholders, and I know you don't like...
I love shareholders, and I am a shareholder, and I love that we went up to at some points.
Since you've been going after their dividend for whatever reasons, whether you find them justified or not, and chasing the company to either get rid of it or curtail it, a number of investors have simply been bailing out. This stock has been cut in half. Now, that's a $90 billion worth of capitalization that's just frittered away. Now, you might not care, but that's the means by which BP is going to address these financial concerns. And with the best of intentions, are you concerned you're sucking them dry so that they can't do that?
In no way, and in fact, I've seen...
What scholar is an expert on this, assuming by constantly going after a company's finances and then, in your case, trying to marshal the resources to put it under protectorship or receivership, something that the Constitution says is a no-no, by the way. What gives you or these scholars the right to say, we can keep pushing and they can keep paying? Eventually, it's like knocking blood out of a stone.
I don't know that that's the case, and BP has said they want to pay all legitimate claims. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, but we did this with Manville. Remember a couple of decades ago? Push, push, push until Manville went bankrupt. We did it with Texaco for a while. Push, push, push until they fell into the arms of an acquirer. You know, believe me, I understand your rage and your concern, Congressman. I'm just saying, be careful what you wish for. You might have a dead company.
Well, I suspect we're going to have a dead company anyway. I think that BP is going to do all they can not to pay their debts, to abscond, to find a way to merge with another company.
What have they done to indicate they're not going to pay their debts?
They haven't been honest about anything to do with this from day one. For years and years, they've had bad safety records. They haven't worried about the research they should have done.
Actually, in the Gulf, they have one of the better safety records. Again, I'm not saying they're saints, but I'm saying, let's say there are plenty of co-sinners. And I'm just wondering, were you jumping all over them? Again, with justifiable rage. You got to be careful, because the backup to BP is us.
I understand what you're saying, Neil, and I understand that. But I do think they've got assets that if we can get control of them, we can guarantee that those monies will go to make restitution or compensation for the people that deserve it. This is a catastrophe unknown in the world. We don't know the end result of it. And Memphis, my hometown, is not far from the Gulf Coast. That's our Riviera, and we don't want to see it destroyed. And we don't want to see BP get away with the profits.
Congressman, I always admire your coming on. Steve Cohen, Democrat of Tennessee. Thank you, sir.